Right, and today we have with us former guitarist of Sour Milk, Fletch Rowland. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm sound.
Okay, now to start things off, how did Sour Milk really happen, all the way from the start?
Well, sour milk, it dates back like at least 15 years, which is quite a fair amount of time considering, you know, with all the amount of coverage we've had within the press over the years. Well, how did it start? That's a very good question, you know. Well, basically, we just started jamming together as friends. Like, I'd play the guitar, Gary would be on the bass, Mike was on the drums, and yeah, we were just a free piece at the time. And we were 19, 20, so we didn't really take things too seriously. It was just for a bit of fun. And then one day we just thought, you know what, fuck it, let's do some proper music, you know, like try and get our name out there. And we just went for it.
Okay, and what was the atmosphere like during your first gigs?
It was really pleasant, to be honest, you know, like the audience were really nice, you know, like there was no like trouble going on in the crowd or anything during the gigs in the bars and wherever we played, really. Like our first gigs were mainly in bars like Sapphire, Mars. There was one popular one at the time, and I can't recall its name, but it was really good. It'll come back to me a sec. Wait a sec. Oh yeah, Sian. Yeah, it was Sian. Yeah, Sian was a good place. Yeah, yeah. It's shut down now, but yeah, the guy who owned that place was proper sound with us. You know, it was like, yeah, lads, you know, like you can jam whenever you like. Yeah, just reserve it, and yeah, do your thing.
Really? And referring to contracts about your albums, and I mean, how was the recording sessions going? Was it, how does it feel compared to being a live band on stage and going back into studio?
That's kind of a tough one to answer, to be fair, like because when you're like comparing performing live on stage to recording in studio, they're both different things. Because when you're performing live, you know, you don't necessarily deliver what you deliver on the album. You can improvise, which is fun, and plus you get the audience encouraging you to do more music, and it's like, jeez guys, you know, like I could only do so much, but you know what, I'll just strum this out and see what it sounds like. So yeah, I really got an adrenaline rush out of playing live with the band. And then there's recording the albums. Well, the first two albums, yeah, they were really fun times, but when it got onto the 3-year contract to do 3 more albums under my goings, he just kind of used us in a way because he wanted to benefit from our music more than we did, if you see what I mean. So times were a bit tough then.
Yeah, we also saw that with press issues, there was also reports of drug and alcohol abuse in the band. What can you say to that?
Well, as you know, with musicians, it's kind of the norm when a split's being passed around and being smoked. You know, like it's just normal in that kind of environment. You know, like even with artists or whatever. Like obviously it's illegal, as I'm very aware, but still, you know, like I don't see any harm in it, to be fair. But it did get to a point where things got out of hand. Like after gigs, we'd have parties and things with the groupies and whoever was involved with the band or mates, and you know, like when you're in that environment, you know, like things do tend to escalate a bit. Like I know quite a few people who were with us, they were just abusing the alcohol, and there was the odd bit of drugs as well, you know. And over time, it took me a while, but I eventually realised some of the people who are fucking hanging about with us, they're a bunch of fucking arseholes, you know, like why the fuck are they with us? Why am I associating myself with these individuals, you know? And that's when I finally woke up, I suppose, and drugs, you know, it's not something I do often, it's every once in a while. I just don't see the point of having those crazy party days anymore.
So taking drugs again in the future, that's you're done with it, basically.
Well, yeah, I kind of am. Like, I can't really say no to a spliff when it's offered. But as a thing that becomes a habit and you're doing it all the time, no fucking way. Absolutely no way. I've got things to focus on in my life, and you can't really function and live a daily life taking drugs. You know what I mean? Some people can, but some of us can't. It either suits you or it doesn't, you know? But as long as you know the risks, I suppose it's alright, but you do need to know your limits, regardless of whatever it is, whether it be drugs, alcohol, whatever, you know? There's always limits, regardless.
And so, and regarding sour milk, do you think there's a future ahead for you guys?
Well, not in this lifetime, to be honest with you. I'm focusing on my solo project, and I'm really pleased with how things are panning out. The same goes for the other members of the band, you know, they've got their other things to work on. I know Gary's trying to support his family at the moment, because when he started to, you know, like, well, how can I say this, like, he kind of felt like he was getting tired of the whole music scene and thought he just needed a break. So basically he's focusing on his family and other responsibilities. But for me, I'm just going to focus on my solo project for the time being. But I suppose I might consider, and I suppose that the other members of the band will agree, that we might have a get together in the future. So couldn't really say no to that.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure having you with us today. I mean, it was quite hard to get hold of you because you were busy with your project. But it's been finally great to sit down and actually have a good down-to-earth talk with you.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks.